one LCVP to share? Any LCVP here? No one got applied, so sad. Sharash, maybe you want to share what have you learned?
Damn. Okay. Well, that was a friendly fire. So, um, what I have learned.
Mm.
Let's see. So, actually, in my group, we weren't able to proceed until feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say like I did learn anything.
Okay. So what have you learned from your pair? If that person have already start talking about that, you can share.
What I learned from my pet.
Mm-hmm. The way that they talk, you learn differently, or you realize that this person could have do this better, for example.
Okay, so my pair was uh, so he was very confident in explaining his talking about his project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that is something I do lack in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so okay, but at the same time, I feel like he was talking all the way until the end. So I mean, I understand that is called sales pitching, but what I would, if I were to give him a feedback, that is to allow the leads to reply back, like maybe with questions, because I believe conversation works two ways.
Mm.
So yeah, it would be a healthy conversation if there is a space for the lead to also reply back while we are sales pitching.
Okay, understand. Who is your pair? Can I know?
Who my pair? Yeah, I forgot already.
You don't even know that
Eh,
person name.
what's his name again? Oh, Bernard Peng.
Okay, so it's Bernard. Okay, Bernard, you can follow up with 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 Savesh again later on the feedback that if you want to receive. Okay, yeah. Okay, now now Bernard, you learn something. Okay, can I have anyone to share that you think your pair really did very good job in pitching? Anyone can share, and what's the reason that you think that this person did very good? Yeah, please do share because it's about pitching. You never know that you let someone learn something differently today. Like for example, Bernard learned today. Okay, can I have one person? I will wait. Yeah. So if you think that your pair is not doing well, that you think you also learn something from that person, you can also share anything. Anyone?
Okay, I can share that my pair did quite well. Yeah,
Okay.
so like I think he did quite genuine, like really want to promote this program to me. Like he will say like I don't want you to lose the opportunity lah. Yeah, so like I really recommend it to you. Like really genuine recommendation to me.
Okay, nice. Thanks, Bernice. Who is your pair?
My pair is V.
V. Who is V?
I learned Vini is V no.
Vishnu.
Yeah.
All right, Vishnu, today you get some credit from Venice. Okay. Thank you so much, Venice, for your sharing. Mainly it's about the feeling that this person have created to you and you feel the sincerity, right? Okay. So regardless you are sharing to me or not, the reason that I want to ask you is also because in this sales pitching activity, you will never know that even as VP, you actually do not know how to do pitching, right? So it's a very normal thing that you do not know if you are not from oGV function back then, okay? And also you are if you realize that you do not know today, it's a good thing because you learn something about yourself today, okay? So I think one thing that I want to bring to every one of you, right, that I'm not going to share with you anything fancy about sales pitching today. And I want you to bring this learning back to your LC on how are you going to train your members up. Because your members are going to learn in this way before they go into the war zone, right? Like build booth, lecture bashing, consultancy spaces. You can use the similar way of how I did that to you just now, and you did that with your team again to train them up. Okay, so I think to close the deal or not, it is all about the feeling that we create for others to keep their energy on you, just like what Venice mentioned, right? Regardless Vishnu is pitching how well, but the feeling and sincerity that this person give makes me interested to continue to listen to you, things like that. Okay, so I have I talked with some LC when I was like in SU Herald Work visit, and then I went to some LC to do listen your pitching, right? I'm not going to mention anything, but I would say overall oGV still do not know how to kickstart a conversation. And it's fine that you do not know, but you can start learning right now, right? And you have time more, 1 more month left for you to try it on. Okay, so with that, right, how can you kickstart the conversation? So very important thing is that if you realize just now, you reflect back your pitching, do you start from asking this person um who they are, right? Because the most important thing to kickstart a conversation is to understand who are you talking to, because this is the golden period that you catch the heart of someone. So I think just now someone also mentioned that it's always one way instead of like you could listen more from a lead, right? So most important thing that you, when you go and listen your members do pitching, or even you yourself doing pitching, how can you start, right? So I just did like an example of how normally I do. You can do it in your own way, you can agree with it or not, but it's up on you. But this is normally how I do. So hi, my name is blah blah blah. I'm currently studying Bachelor of Biomedical Science. So I see you are waiting for something. So not most of the time, probably you are the one that actually approaching someone to give flyers, right? Not just give flyers, talk with that person, right? So I see you are waiting for in the bus stop, for example, right? Or you see that person is actually looking at you or waiting for someone, things like that, and you are approaching, right? So are you going somewhere later? So what's the reason that you need to ask this, are you going somewhere later, is also for you to know that do this person in rush or not. If it's in rush, how can I speed up my sales pitching? So do you see this thing differently? And then afterwards, do you have 5 minutes for me? So that person, you have 5 minutes for you to listen to you, so you start asking questions, right? So what are you studying now, which year are you in? So it's very important for you to start understand this person is from which background first, because you will directly know whether this person is foundation student, do they have timeline. If it's final year, which means that this person is going internship and not your target, and you're gonna find another one, right? So very important to understand from that person about the background first before you start your pitching. And what do you plan to do during sem break? So if that person have the plans, which means that potentially this is not the very potential lead for you, right? Or if this person mentioned that I don't know what to do in sem break, things like that, then you, the questions that you can ask is that what do you normally wish to do during holiday? So these questions about what are you studying, which year are you in, and also what are you going to do sem break, which is for you to understand the commitment of this person in sem break, so that you don't pitch everything and then this person tell you that you don't have interest and you wasted your 10 minutes saliva, right? So this is how you can kickstart a conversation. You can reflect back just now, how do you do your sales pitching? Okay, so after you get to know this person, right, about the background of this person, the second is about talk about you, but not exactly who you are. No one wants to know like what exactly you are in Isaac, your position. Everyone will just categorize you as Isaac, right? Or you are a uni student. So in order for you to feel that this person is not talking with an Isaac, normally how I did is that I'm planning to do this project during sem break with Isaac, and this project has blah 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 this activity. So the activities that you are pitching have to fit in the customer needs. So how do you get the customer needs, right? It's actually about when you ask them about what do you plan to do in sem break, or what do you normally wish to do in holiday, right? So here's your project activities where you fit the customer needs, and also the course that they are studying is going to change like the way that you pitch to them. So let's say you are going to promote clean our plate, right, to this person, because this person is from environmental engineering, for example. So you know that, oh, you are studying environmental engineering, I have a this project which we require engineering like background to do ideation, project thinking, all those things, design thinking, all those things, which is actually fit in what environmental engineering students needs. So you don't promote about, hey, we are going to do clean our plate, and then we are going to collect food waste, blah blah blah. If you are an engineering student, it doesn't sound interesting for you. So very important, how can you be flexible in your project activities? And in order for you to know what activities to pitch, is to start understand the cost first, and what which year are they. Okay, so afterwards you just think, so I personally think that this project is interesting, do you want to know more about it? And if that person okay to listen to you, you continue to promote that project, that what this person can do. So do you think that you have interest to join in this sem break? And we have left how many slots in this project. So when you talk about slots, you are creating urgency for that person, that they have the urge to apply right now. Just like, for example, you go to supermarket and people will tell you that, oh, we left five stocks left, do you want to buy it right now, it's a discount, for example. You will definitely buy it because you don't want to miss the discount, right? So very important, if you can go directly to the point, that if this person show interest to you, do you want to apply this project today? So don't wait until the end if you're so shy to ask this person to apply for this project today, because the most important thing of your pitching is that within 5 minutes you can get the very first apply, right? So definitely not everyone will want to apply for project on the spot, right? So when customers start to talk about concern or start to give you excuse, you cannot stop right now when they start giving you concerns, right? So the frequent thing, just now I think I received someone mentioned about the lead still needs some time, right? Okay, this is a very common thing because I also faced it before. So I need some time to think about it. So what you need to do when people start to think about it, right, is to keep the urgency there, right? Like the interest level there. So what I normally do is that if you really want it, right, we really left limited slots as there are already 10 volunteers in the project. So regardless how much, you have to mention the amount that you think can create that person interest to buy it right now, right? So you can fill in the in this form first, then I will send you the project details by today. So if you, so the question, the way that you mention what call to action is very important. So if that person is in rush, right, so how do you know that whether this person is in rush? Is the first question that you ask. So are you going somewhere else later, right? So if that person have 5 to 10 minutes time, so if you want to apply now, we can go to the library now to apply. The process is super simple, you just need to fill in the form, and then afterwards you'll receive it interview, and then you will go for the project. For example, you pay for the project and you will go, and it will only take you 10 minutes to just fill in the form. Can you go right now with me, for example? Okay, so very important for you to catch at least the person fill in the call to action, either the lead form or project. So how can I know if this person should apply on the spot, right? Because not everyone will apply on the spot. Based on their time, they say they want to go other place, blah, 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 things like that, right? So if the customer is going somewhere rushing, which is within 5 minutes, right, that they suddenly need to leave from the place that you start talking with them, at least the role that you need to play is that they need to fill in lead form, and I can send you project today. Okay, and then if the customer mentioned at the beginning that they are already not rushing, then this is your chance. Within 10 minutes time, you have to get this person to apply, right? So if this person really show interest to you, okay, so apply on the spot for salesperson. Regardless you are doing marketing or sales, everyone is the same when you go into oGV booth. Even your IGV peeps are here, you are going to train them up with this thing. Apply on the spot is your most important MOS of sales. You can lose the conversion from apply to approve, because normally when people apply project, they have already very high interest. But the hardest part is always about lead to apply, because you will get the lead easily. They can just fill in the form, but that doesn't mean that they really want to apply for a project, because and that require a lot of the time, right? So why not you just use one sales pitching that I can just get apply on the spot, right? At least you need to pitch to apply for project first. So why do I mention about project, right? Which is, if you see, I don't even talk about Malaysian youth volunteers or this thing. It's because people don't normally talk about volunteer, right? People talk about what they can do and what can they have fun and what can they have learn something, right? As a youth, as a uni student, you can reflect yourself. Is today you are the customer, the way that you pitch just now, would you buy it or not? Okay, so this is how you can kickstart a conversation. And then how can you boost sales, right? So there are three ways that normally LC will do, even me myself when I was in LC. So on-site sales is normally the booth, the matching mania, the consultancy spaces, the success level 1 to 5, 1 being easy. On-site sales is the most easy one for you to close the deal, right? So use it when you meet the profile of when they are booth visitor, or the lead that you actually call them to come to the booth of the space. Okay, so when should you use this approach is on the spot, and then within 1 hour you meet this person, you should close the sales, which is applied. Okay, so the second, after you really try on-site sales and then you get the lead already, so what you need to do is that this person haven't applied yet, so what you need to do is to do cold calling. So normally the success level of cold calling is second. It's not that difficult and it's not that easy. Normally this kind of person is your booth visitor or the lead that you interacted in the morning, and at night you call this person or whoever that filled up the lead form. So what you need to do is within 24 hours you need to call this person, and then if this person didn't pick up, you can have second attempt after 1 day. Okay, so afterwards, if cold call is not working, which means this person didn't respond to you, didn't pick up, and you just use texting. And then texting success level normally is the most difficult one. Okay, it's not 3. Okay, I will just put 5. I don't know who changed it, but it's the most difficult one. Frankly speaking, you already try it right now, you will know whether you get responsive lead or not, right? So whoever don't answer your call, you can follow up 1 day after the text with the text. Okay, follow up 1 day after you call first time, and then you text that person, remind that person again, and you call again. And if that person still didn't apply, you can actually text again the second time or the third time. Okay, if after second and third attempts that person is not responding, then which means that your lead, this person, this lead is not quality lead. Okay, so you can reflect back your SOP of how do you do sales with your team right now as a VP, as a director. Okay, it's within 24 hours. If this person don't pick up your phone, within 2 days to wait for a response through texting. So you can follow up every day. But if after 2 days it's still not working, which means that you have to find a new lead to replace. Okay, so that's how you can do the sales based on this process. All right, so one tips, very first tips is that sales pitch golden time, your first 15 seconds, how do you interact with that person, which is how do you kickstart with that person is to listen to you first. And second 15 seconds, the second part of it is your project selling. You cannot take too long time, because no one want to waste their time listening to you to talk about whatever Isaac it is about, but I want to know what's the point that you want to tell me, which is what can I do in sem break, which is your project, right? And then the third 15 seconds is call to actions. So why I said you only have 5 minutes just now to do pitching is because you only have 5 minutes to finish the entire process to achieve apply on the spot. However, I'm not asking you to rush in your 5 minutes, but you have to interact with your sincerity, which is two-way, and energy, not rushing over the process. Okay. And the second tips is that in oGV, you learn the most as in agile and sensible, because that's what I learned the most, because I interact with people back then, even when I was in VP. So you can always try and error, regardless you are VP or director or member, by keep improving the approach of approaching people. So another way that I did when I was team leader is that I stand beside my members and listen to their pitch. So that I know that they won't waste their time here, learn nothing as a member, but they got someone to support them. So if you realize that your members actually lose up some point, you can also add on points directly on the spot. So at least you have 2 person pitching with 1 customers, right? And don't forget to provide suggestions to your members that pitch on the spot so that they can learn from one customer to another customers. Okay, as VP or as team leader, don't sit at that you thought that you can help your members. Not going to help. You have to go on ground to listen to how your members is doing pitching and learn together with them. Okay, so last tips is that everyone who come here to do pitching, regardless their IGV, their OGV, their member, or their FL or PM, your entire whole LC who come here should have a goal, right? So as VP, what you need to do is to set everyone minimum to apply, or you get a 10 leads. If not, you waste your time here. Within 1 hour, you're gonna get these results. Okay, so don't waste the time without clear have a clear goals, because once they have the goals, you can recap their learnings. Like for example, have I achieved my goal? Why am I here? As VP, what you need to do is to go on ground with the members to check them up, right? And what they have learned when dealing with the customers. So when they share about their learning, you also learn that, okay, the way that customer normally respond is like this, so how can I teach my member differently, right? And also, how can we improve our approach next time? Even though you look that these questions are very simple, but it's going to be very impactful for your members whoever actually come to that. Okay, so I just want to recap everything before I go into Q&A. That to be a salesperson, it is super common for you to get rejection, and it's totally fine you get rejection. Okay, because that doesn't mean that you are the bad person or you are an annoying person as a salesperson. Everyone hates salesperson, right? Me, I also hate salesperson. But then, because I think for me personally, when I was doing all these things as OGV, and my intention is always good, because I'm here to share opportunity for other uni students that I think is good for them to learn something in SAMBreak, which is leadership development. So you never have bad intention, even though someone reject you. Just remember about that, and also remember that not everyone will be the customer of you, right? So some people do have commitment issues, then it's fine, you find another one to replace the goal that you have. Okay, and then and I also want to share my experience that personally for me in OGV is one of the most resilient and challenging role in Isaac. I'm not sure. I went to IGV. I don't think IGV is still that challenging compared to OGV at this period of time, because IGV will only have their challenge when realization happens, right? But I think everyone here is team leader in OGV. I just want to remind you, don't forget that you are all doing something very good for the young people that you have interacted with, regardless they know they sign up for Isaac program or not. At least they know that there is a leadership program for them to learn something. Perhaps you do not know, maybe next week that this person come back to you again, right? So which is leadership development in young people, that you have did something great every day. So, and it all starts from here, which is OGV. Frankly speaking, if you look into your membership, and or even for you right now, perhaps you are from MYV and then currently you are the members, right? Or even you are the leader right now. So all department, outgoing department is always a very impactful department, even though right now it seems very challenging for you, very stressful for you that you can't achieve your goal. But as long as you are willing to learn, and things can be very simple for you to do it, which is to do well the sales, right? You don't need a lot of fancy strategy, but the most important thing is your pitching content, how well that you can attract people to come to you. And that's also why I really love about outgoing department, because they are the frontliner for Isaac most of the time. Because of you guys, because of all, a lot of people know about Isaac. Yeah. So I think so I just want to remind you that if you can go through this such challenging process right now, upcoming whatever happen to you is not going to break you down. Because if you still remember as VPs or even as a team leaders, why you are here in Isaac is to develop your leadership, and it's through practical experience in challenging environment. All in all, in the end, you actually learn something about how can I be empathized with people that I interacted with, right? And how can I share my passion? How can I share my enthusiasm with the people, that to let people believe about leadership? Okay, so I think that's all. Just to keep it with the last message for you, keep going with your spirit, because you will gain more than what you expect in all these functions. All right. So I think that's all for sales. So yeah, I hope that you learn something today. Anyone have any questions that you want to ask for case studies? I can open for 1 or 2 questions before we move on. Yeah, it's a golden time. I'm not I mean, golden time for you to ask, okay? Yeah, if you face any problem in sales. You can
Hi,
share also case study. Oh, okay, there is someone unmute. Okay.
hi, EJ. I'm Adila from UPM. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a question which I recently faced during the lecture bashing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, today there are someone when we do the lecture bashing suddenly ask, oh, if I'm not mistaken, has that product need to pay, right? So yeah, may I know about the fee or something? So I would like to ask if we are currently facing this situation, why should we answer it?
Okay, just answer it. Yes, we need to pay. Yeah. So, what's the fee cover about? The processing fee of our program, and also the standards that we are covering in the program. So, for example, we are going to have these services that will let you to learn all these things, and that's what you cover for the program. That's it. Just answer it. Yeah. Does it help you?
Okay, like what if they a bit like there's a bit uncertainty there
Yeah.
because like
Okay.
I told you, UPM market currently is like some of them is already immune. Yeah, quite immune. So we are trying our best to revive it again.
Mm. So one thing you need to know that lecture bashing is one to all. So which means that you can't customize your sales pitch to that person, right? So if someone asks about that, you mention it, but remember to close it with um if you want to know more details about the fee and what are we covering, we can talk after this lecture class and I will be outside waiting for you. That's it. So the most important thing in lecture bashing is that you need to know you can't follow up directly on the spot with that person, but you can set a booth outside of the lecture hall after the lecture bashing. So I realized this when people just do lecture bashing, that's it, right? And I will go away. I'm not following it up with that person. But I think this is just my personal way of how I do sales because I was aggressive and I will just stand outside of my lecture bashing hall and wait for the people to come out. And my members are there to actually ask them, hey, after the lecture bashing just now, do you have any interest to know more about that? And you continue your sales pitching. Don't let the person go, or you don't just do finish your pitching and that's it and you say bye to everyone. It's going to waste your lecture bashing time. So you need to know the expectations of lecture bashing is that it's a high audience that you can interact with, but you can't customize. But what can you make it customized is after the lecture bashing, where are you? Are you there? Show up to the customers or to the students that you continue your sales pitching with them and they follow you to somewhere, or you have the booth outside of the lecture hall, for example, and you ask them, are you just now from the lecture hall? And then do you want to continue to listen? All those things, and then things like that. Mm. So one thing in lecture bashing is that some people do ask question or some people don't ask question. And those that person that ask question, normally I will just say, for you, if you have more, I think I will answer you later on and then I will approach you after the class. Yeah. So that's a way. It might sounds like you have to be there always all the time. That's the reason of why people will only start having interest with you after 3 times they see you. They see you in WhatsApp, they see you in lecture hall, they see you outside of lecture hall, and people will start have interest with you. Yeah. So it takes some consistent process. Mm. Does it help you?
Yes, thank you, EJ.
Yeah. So for whoever that want to do lecture bashing, don't just do lecture bashing, that's it. Remember to set out a booth outside, or you get people ready outside after the lecture class. Like after 1 hour, you kind of can count the, and then you get your member outside there to grab the people with you to talk about that. Yeah. So don't just leave your lecture bashing there. If not, it's going to be wasted. Okay. So any more question? Maybe we can have one last. Yeah. Okay, 开启.
Hello, I do have a question. It's
Mm,
about cold call.
Mm,
So cold call is actually we calling the leads after the physical booth, right? So actually
mm,
I found calling is kind of, some people don't like calling, they
mm,
prefer texting.
mm,
So I would like to ask, will this like more difficult than texting?
mm. So you never know this person whether like cold call or not, right? So just cold call first, and if that person don't pick up, you use texting, and if that person responds you, which is good job, right? And then if that person still didn't respond to you, you call again, and then if that person start responding to you, which is good job. Okay, so the thing here is that have to go back and forth when you comes into following up with the lead, right? So that's why I mentioned there is a process here in slide 40 that you do on-site sales, right? And you do cold call. And if that person don't reply, it's fine that you just do texting. And if that person reply only for texting, then you continue use texting. Okay? Then you know that this person actually like texting rather than call, for example. And cold call doesn't happen most of the time. You have your golden time, which is during dinner time or lunchtime. Don't call people during class time, okay? Like 3 to 5, no one is going to pick up the phone, right? But people will only pick up or realize about that on lunchtime or dinner time. Or you don't call people at 11 p.m., right? When people want to sleep already, okay? So the golden time of cold call is very important that you have to check up with your CXP team, okay? So other than that, you just follow back the flow of slide 40, very simple. On-site sales, who should be the profile? Cold call, this person didn't pick up, you use texting. If that person texts and reply, it's good. If didn't text again, you go back to cold call, and you only do 2 time cold call, because the third time normally people really don't pick up already one. So after second time, and if that person reply, good job for that. But if that person didn't reply and text also didn't reply, after second and third attempt, move on. Yeah, so it's just that simple, so that you can be faster and you don't waste time on one lead that would cost you a lot of time, and your member not gonna have interest to do that anymore. Yeah, so does it help you?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, all right. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for the questions. You can still put on the questions on the slides that your case, right? So I can text you in the slides later on. I can reply, so that Anjun will help me to coordinate. But I think just to remind that even though right now it's like an operation peak for you guys, and I'm not sure how do you feel with your bottlenecks, all those things, but don't forget to always reach out to the commission mates, because they actually might also face a similar problem, and they have actually successfully did it. So you just initiate conversation in the commission group, all those things, just to share case study. Because for me personally, sales truth case study, there's no best sales pitching, but only the case that you practice the most, and you learn how to do it along the way. Okay, so it's fine that you do not know how right now, but you learn something today. And I hope that this L&D doesn't just stop for VPs or director. Please bring these activities back to your member. You can do it right in the next oGV department, the meetings that you have. Okay, and you will know how much your member know how to do sales pitching, and how can you teach them. All right, so I think that's all from me, and I will pass back to Liang Jun for the remaining one lah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think everyone can thank DJ for sharing all those